The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf.
So, having that dual product optionality helps us cater for where the market is going to. And if one chemistry is turning out to be the winner, we have the flexibility in our process flow sheet to, up one product and produce more one product over the other.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by Sean Thijsse. He is Chief Development Officer at Giyani Metals. Sean, very good to speak with you. Giyani recently achieved first production of high-purity manganese sulfate monohydrate at your Johannesburg demo plant. What does this milestone mean for the company and its path to commercial production?
Thank you, Stephen. Look, it's a significant milestone for the company. We have been working on this project, this demonstration plant, for a number of years now, and finally we've made this high-purity manganese sulfate, which is the market has been waiting for, and our potential offtake partners have been waiting for. So, it's a big stamp of approval on our process, and it's a big leap forward in the commercialization of our project.
Sean, what were some of the key technical learnings from the demo plants that will feed into the full-scale design and the DFS?
Look, there are a number of sort of technical learnings from the demonstration plant that we are going to be taking forward to the DFS and the commercial facility. A number of them is sort of related to the optimization of the process flow sheet, swapping out some of the processes and replacing them with other processes. A lot of these processes are well known in the industry, but it's the way that we've put them together and the operating temperatures and things like that have really helped develop this process flow sheet and made it quite unique for the industry. So there's a number of technological advantages that we've found in our learnings at the demonstration plant, and it's been an invaluable sort of learning experience for our company.
You've also reported positive results from the first phase of C4V's qualification program. What do those results show, and how do they position Giyani with potential customers?
Yeah, so look, we got some fantastic results from our phase 1 testing through C4V. C4V is a US battery technology company that is focusing on sort of reducing emissions and enhancing efficiencies within new battery technologies. The qualification process that we've got with C4V is a 3-phased approach. So we've just completed in October the phase 1, which consisted of a coin cell analysis, a coin cell testing. So they used our HPMO product and made some coin cells, these little CR2025 batteries, that you put in the back of watches. They produced a few of those and then tested our material against their baseline cathode material product. So the kind of test that went on, there was the first cycle, efficiency, cycling stability, charging, discharging, mass loading, and sort of rate testing analysis of this cell, and comparing it to their baseline. And the results, showed remarkable consistency with the baseline. So it's a very strong stamp of approval of our HPMO product that we produced at the demonstration plant back in Q1 2025. So it's a very good stamp of approval on our product, and we are moving now towards phase 2 and phase 3, which consist of phase 2 is a single layer pouch cell testing. So they're going to be doing a lot longer cell cycle testing to test the cycling stability on that, and then phase 3 is multi-layered pouch cell tests. So the timeline of that for phase 2 is about 4 to 5 months, and phase 3 is about 5 to 6 months. So it's a very good first step in the process of our qualification for our HPMO product through C4V. We've obviously sent product to multiple different offtake partners, and the results are looking positive on that front as well. But it's a very good stamp of approval of the quality of our product that meets those extremely high standards in batteries.
So, Giyani now has both HPMSM and high purity manganese oxide in its portfolio. How does this dual product offering strengthen your position in the evolving battery metals market?
Look, I think it positions us in a very unique very unique place within the market. A number of our competitors, are only focusing on one product or the other. I think having that dual product optionality is a significant strength for Giyani. The battery chemistry industry is a very fast moving market, and the chemistries are changing quite significantly. Having that dual product optionality helps us to broaden our range of battery chemistries that we can cater for. So typically in your typical NMC type style batteries, nickel, manganese, cobalt batteries, the preferred precursor is a high purity manganese sulfate. Whereas in your lithium manganese nickel oxide batteries, or even in lithium manganese iron phosphate, which is becoming quite big in China at the moment, you can use either HPMSM or oxide or even carbonate. So having that dual product optionality helps us cater for where the market is going to, and if one chemistry is turning out to be the winner, we have the flexibility in our process flow sheet to up one product and produce more one product over the other.
I mean, what are the main milestones investors should be watching out for over the next 6 months as you focus on completing that DFS and continuing your qualification work?
Yeah, so the next sort of 6 to 12 months are going to be critical for Giyani. The first milestone, obviously, is, as you mentioned, the definitive feasibility study, which is going to be due out by the end of Q1 2026. We remain on track to meet that milestone. Some other significant milestones that we are working towards is obviously securing our offtake partners, and obviously securing our project finance. So having those conversations with potential debt and equity lenders, and maintaining and creating new relationships there. In terms of what we'd like to do in 2026, those are the first two things that we're focusing on, is the DFS and ongoing qualification with our offtake partners. But of course, we would love to do some early works in Botswana, to work on some of the infrastructure in country. And then obviously, as we go on into 2027, we're hoping to start construction in 2027 and then ramp up into commercial production towards the end of 2028 and 2029.
Well, Sean, I hope you'll continue to keep us updated on your progress. Thank you very much for speaking with us today.
Thank you, Stephen. It's been a pleasure.
Sean Thijsse, he's Chief Development Officer at Giyani Metals.
The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf. It is for informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice, an offer, or a solicitation to buy or sell any securities. Viewers should conduct their own research and consult a qualified financial advisor before making investment decisions. The views expressed are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of Proactive Group Holdings, trading as Proactive Investors, or its affiliates. No responsibility is accepted for any loss arising from reliance on the information presented.